a storm of blood and beauty. In the scorching heart of the desert, beauty blends with brutality, and survival becomes revenge. Welcome to a story where sand burns hotter than fire, and silence screams louder than bullets. This isn't just a revenge film. It's a cinematic revolution. Today we delve into the world of Revenge, 2017. A French thriller that redefined the meaning of justice. Let's start behind the scenes. Directed by Coralie Fargeat, Revenge was shot almost entirely in Morocco, under a scorching sun and stifling isolation. Actress Mathilde Lutz performed most of her scenes under extreme physical strain. The cast and crew often filmed during sunrise and sunset, capturing the golden hues that give the film its dreamy, if brutal, feel. But let's back up a bit. What does success in Revenge mean? Does survival mean victory? Or does it transform the victim into something new? Something terrifying? In Revenge, success isn't pure. It's steeped in blood, pain, and resurrection. The fight scenes in Revenge are poignant and almost poetic. Intense, blood isn't just spilled. It's drawn on screen for a purpose. Every stab, every scream, every drop of sweat. It's all part of a brutal ballet. It's not blood for shock value. It's storytelling at its finest. The real question is revenge truly justice? Revenge cuts a violent trail, simultaneously empowering and disturbing. The film never tells you what's right and wrong, but instead forces you to re-examine your own beliefs about retribution, survival, and power. Capturing the brutality of the desert wasn't easy. The action scenes were shot with handheld cameras to transport viewers directly into the heart of the chaos. Many scenes were choreographed like dances. Chaotic, yes, but calculated. The blood wasn't just fake. It was a character in itself. This film turns the notion of revenge movies on its head. It was directed by a fearless female director, a rarity in the genre. The cinematography is stunning. The symbolism is profound and often disturbing. It lingers with you long after the film has ended. Revenge isn't cheap. In this film, we watch Jean, once playful, flirtatious, even naive, transform into a relentless force. But at what cost? Her body is broken. Her spirit is shattered. The act of revenge eats away at her humanity, leaving behind a ghost of who she once was. Jean's transformation isn't just physical, it's psychological. She's not just a survivor, she's a predator. Her trauma reprograms her instincts. She learns to kill not just out of rage, but out of sheer necessity. The film forces us to ask, how much of ourselves must we lose to regain control? Let's talk about the effects. The practical effects in Revenge are stunning and brutal, whether it's the bloody wounds or the intense hallucinations. Every image is designed to make you feel every moment. The filmmakers didn't rely heavily on computer animation, but used real makeup, real props, and real reactions to keep you engaged in the horror. On the surface, Revenge is about a woman resisting, but dig deeper. You'll find a story of resurrection through violence. Jane is literally stabbed and left for dead, a symbolic death. Her return is almost mythical, covered in blood on fire, walking through the desert. She becomes more than just a woman. She becomes an idea. Each character represents more than just a role. Richard is the embodiment of power and manipulation. Stan and Dimitri represent complicity and cowardice. Jane, she's a symbol of resistance as well as rage. The casting was superb. Mathilde Lutz performed brilliantly throughout the film. with simple dialogue and intense energy. The script for Revenge was written with one goal in mind: to turn the image of rape and revenge on its head. Coralie wanted to challenge the stereotypes: the crying victim, the hero who saves her, the nail-biting finale. Here, there is no savior, no clean escape. Just one woman, one desert, and a blood-soaked will to survive. Some scenes in Revenge are loaded with symbolism. The ant-covered apple, a distorted version of the forbidden fruit. Temptation and corruption. The phoenix tattoo, a symbol of death and rebirth. Even the mirrors and blood trails are metaphors. This is a film that rewards attentive viewers. Because everything has a meaning, the film is full of metaphors. Jean's fall from the cliff represents her literal descent into hell. Her rebirth, rising from the dust, bloodied but breathing, represents baptism. The desert is not just a place. It is a state of mind, isolation, transformation, survival. Everything physical in this film has a psychological twin. In interviews, Matilda Lutz has described the filming process as shocking and empowering. She wasn't just acting, she was experiencing it. Every emotion she saw was shocking. Even the male actors had to push themselves into uncomfortable situations. Playing monsters isn't easy, but they embraced it with terrifying honesty. Thinking about watching Revenge? Be warned. It's not for the faint of heart, but it's not a mindless gore film either. If you watch it expecting a traditional action movie, you'll be shocked. If you're open to a visual, emotional, and symbolic experience, you'll leave horrified and impressed. At its core, Revenge is a dialogue about power and justice. It turns the power dynamic on its head. It asks, who has control over the body? Over pain? Over the right to survive? It's not just about revenge. It's about reclaiming narrative, agency, and voice. But make no mistake, Revenge is dark. It's violent. It's unapologetically brutal. There are no soft moments, no comfort zones. The desert feels like another character, punishing, brutal, and endless. You don't watch this film to relax, but to feel a sense of authenticity. Some say Revenge is about trauma. Others say it's about rebirth. But at its deepest, it's about storytelling, about the meaning of pain and survival. This film takes the old revenge paradigm and completely destroys it. Then it builds something new, something brutal and strangely beautiful. The mirror scene, the chase down the trail, the first time you walk barefoot in the desert. These aren't just cool shots, they're iconic. They're etched in the audience's memory like a scar. The sound design, the slow motion, the silence before the impact. These moments are like cinematic poetry, brutal and unforgettable. The music in Revenge isn't just background music. It's the blood that runs through every scene. Composer Rob's electronic score pulses like a second heartbeat, synchronized with Jane's transformation. At first, the music is seductive, almost playful, like the beginning of a dangerous game. But as violence erupts, the electronic sounds grow darker, harsher, and more violent. Not a melody, but a war cry. The soundtrack grabs you by the throat, refusing to let go. Moments of silence are used like knives, piercing your expectations, making each subsequent sound more devastating. You don't just hear the music in Revenge, you feel it seeping into your soul. Why are we drawn to stories like these? Why do we sit amidst violence, pain, and suffering and call it art? Revenge forces you to look within. You watch Jane endure the unbelievable, and a part of you cheers her on. But why? Are we seeking justice or catharsis? Are we watching for empowerment or feeding a dark side of ourselves? The film never answers. It only reflects. And maybe that's the point. Like a mirror, revenge doesn't judge you. It lets you judge yourself. Most revenge movies follow a formula. Wrong is committed, justice is served, credits roll. Not here. In Revenge, the rules are rewritten. There's no courtroom, no speeches, no redemption arcs. Just survival, brutal, raw, and deeply personal. The genre is stripped to its core, then rebuilt with rage and beauty. Jane isn't a hero. She's not even an anti-hero. She's a force, like a fire, like a storm. The desert becomes her crucible. And what comes out the other side is not what went in. It's more than just revenge. It's evolution. Revenge isn't just a movie. It's a pulse, a scream, a defiance. If you think you know what a revenge story looks like, think again. This is what happens when style meets fury, when blood meets meaning, when cinema dares to bleed. And now, you've seen her fall. You've seen her rise. The question is, are you ready to face the fire with her? Watch Revenge, and don't blink.